The outbreak of the war. After the revolution and the April laws, the Batthyány government found itself in a tight situation. They were hoping that the uprisings in Vienna and in Italy, and the events at the German assembly in Frankfurt would buy them some time to start building up an autonomous Hungary inside the empire. They managed to start printing Hungarian banknotes, the so-called Kossuth notes, or Kossuth bankok, a stable form of currency throughout the war. They also called up an army of 10,000 militiamen, a force that would become the Hungarian army, or the Honvédség. The government did not want to secede from the empire. This way, keeping to the provisions of the Pragmatica Sanctio of 1723, later relations was still in question. The ethnic minorities in Hungary were also organizing their own nationalistic movements in May 1848. The Slovaks, the Serbs, and the Romanians demanded autonomy in their respective regions and rights to use their own language. The Hungarian government did not agree to that. An even more threatening case was the Croatians who, when the revolution broke out, sided with the court against the Hungarians. The Croatian general, Josip Jelačić, was appointed as Ban, regent, of Croatia. Also, the National Assembly of Croatia voted in favor of cutting all legal ties with the Kingdom of Hungary. During the summer of 1848, the Serbs started a civil war, fighting for their autonomy. In the wake of these events, Kossuth, in his famous speech on 11th of July, asked the new parliament to set aside a budget to call up an army of 200,000 soldiers, which the parliament agreed to do. In September, the tides turned in favor of Vienna. Austrians sent an ultimatum to the government, demanding them to give up their independent banks and currency and to disband their army. It resulted in a governmental crisis. Pál Esterházy resigned, Széchenyi had a nervous breakdown, and later the whole government resigned. In the midst of these cavalcade of events, Jelačić and his troops broke into Hungary on the 11th of September in 1848, and thus the War of Independence broke out. Jelačić was on his way to Pest-Buda to take over the government from the Hungarians. The National Defense Committee, or in Hungarian, the Országos Honvédelmi Bizottmány, was set up with Kossuth as its president. In the first battle of the war, fought on the 29th of September near Pákozd, the newly assembled Hungarian army, commanded by János Muga, Mór Percel, and Richard Nguyen, defeated Jelačić's army. A part of the Croatian-Austrian army was later defeated in the Battle of Ozora. So Jelačić fled in the direction of Vienna with his army, with the Hungarian army in their footsteps. In October, the government was reformed with Batthyány returning as prime minister. The Austrians were almost ready to dispatch the forces to help the fleeing Jelačić. However, the people of Vienna started a revolution to prevent the court from sending their reinforcements. The defense committee ordered Muga to cross the border and attack Vienna to take the city and help the insurgents. But Muga was faced with a controversial situation. If he crosses the border, he will face the troops of the king. His soldiers so far had fought against Croatian intruders, but now they would have to fight against the king they swore to fight for. By the time Muga decided to launch the attack, General Windisch-Graetz had already rallied all his troops and merged with Jelačić's army. At the Battle of Svájhely, just outside Vienna, on the 30th of October, the Hungarian forces suffered a defeat in a battle that could have been a turning point in the war. Even though this battle was lost, one general had shown his incomparable talents, who was Artur Gergely, the greatest Hungarian general in history. After the defeat of Svájhely, Kossuth appointed Gergely as the general of the Upper Danube Army Corps. Gergely's military talents will be more than essential in keeping the hopes of a victory alive.